This is our turnoff right here, Grandfather Mountain entrance. A nice Camaro. On the mountain, the only thing about this road I remember, you gotta watch it. These curves right here are blind curves too, kind of. So you don't know how sharp they're going to be, but there's a bunch of 180s up here. Right here I can swing out a little bit and look around. But this is kind of not a real sharp curve. And of course you don't want to go too far to the white line. There's a drop off right there. Isn't this pretty right here? It will happen, something bad will happen. See, this is 180, see that? And that's going uphill. Now that's another 180. Now when you do these 180s, well, I love this rock right here. When you do those 180s like that, like here's one right here. Look at where you want your tire to be. Okay? See, like, I don't want to look at a car coming around here because I'm going to be aiming toward it. That's a psychological thing. I mentioned that before. So you don't want to look at that. Look at where you want your tire to be. I want my tire on this white line. And now I'm changing gears right here. Now I had to change gears halfway up into that curve. So you got to be able to change gears going around there because I could tell it was kind of bogging down a little bit. So. Because they will bog you down. Like here's one right here. I'm gonna drop down a gear right here. I'm swinging out. I'm looking at my white line, and I'm not looking at anybody or anything coming around the curve. Okay. You can kind of see how that is right there. Now right there, I had to give it the throttle because I was about to slow down too slow. If you slow down too slow in a 180 like that, then your bike will stop, and when your bike stops, it'll fall over. Okay? So, the main thing is keep your tires close to the white line as you can. If you can swing out a little bit before you get into one, that's good. It all depends on the angle you're approaching it. And make sure you're in a low enough gear. And if you feel like you're getting too slow, give it the throttle a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit enough to push you on up. I'm looking at the yellow line. That's what I'm focusing on right here. See that? Wow. I'm gonna stop right here a second. Woo, look at that, guys. That is so awesome, so beautiful. What a great and wonderful view that is. But look at that 180 right there. Again, what makes it hard is when you're going up, see, then you got to turn still in that upward position. So take your time. Going back downhill is a little easier. You don't have all the weight, 900-pound motorcycle to pull up here. This is a building up here. It's storm-proof just about, I guess. Okay, guys, we're leaving, going back downhill. And that's a beautiful GTO right there. Man, that is nice. The Judge. Look at this view coming down. Here you get an idea of these 180 curves right here. Even the cars hang close on the edge of these curves. Oh, I had to creep around that one. Now see, when I come around that curve right there, I came kind of slow. I did not look to see if any cars were coming. All I looked at was that yellow line, because I do not want to cross the yellow line. Now this curve right here is a lot easier to manipulate. This is pretty easy right here. I'm looking at the yellow line. All the time I tell you look at the white line, not in this case. You look at the yellow line because you do not want to cross the yellow line. And could have cut in a little bit more on that one. Look at that view. Now I let out my clutch real easy. Remember, feather that clutch. You don't on the 1800 Goldwing. Now see, that guy there, he cut over the line. Now you would think it'd be a lot easier for motorcycles, but in some ways it is. But I mean, you got four wheels on the ground. You can slow down and make these turns. Now this is not a bad turn. I'm swinging out and I'm cutting in. Swing out on that one and then cut in. That's one of the ways you can attack these curves is swing out like the one we just did. Now on this side I'm swinging out the opposite direction, right? So I swing out and I go slow. If you go too fast, you're asking for trouble. Nice looking vet, Stingray vet too. Another vet. We got a red vet, we got a blue vet. Now they come up to ride these 180 turns, I bet. Look at that. Somebody's got some money. I tell you what, that's the best body design Corvettes come out with. It looks like European on the back. I really like that. I'm not going to follow them up the hill. Now it's funny, you know, we see these two of the first one, the blue one and the white one, are new. The one in the middle is a little bit older. But it's funny, you see these vets coming up here. Steve McQueen played in a movie where they use the 380 that goes up the mountain back and forth in a racing movie way back with Steve McQueen. So people have used it, stuff like that. Now Tail of the Dragon would be the place you really want to do that, but they have had, I know at least that one movie with Steve McQueen, part of it was filmed up here. No doubt another 180 hairpin curve here, swing out, go slow, you see? That's a sharp curve. But that's not a bad one. The ones that get bad are the one higher up toward the mountain. And here's another one. I'm cutting the inside to the white line, staying to the white line. Look at that. Now that's a pretty picture there. The guy and his girlfriend. Swinging out, holding to the yellow line. You don't want to, on a motorcycle, when you come across the yellow line, I'm right on the yellow line, not on it, but right beside it. When you go around a curve, you're leaning over, so you can lean over that. See, I'm staying with my white line. That's another 180. I think I've been calling these 180. But they're just like a hairpin curve. Going down's not so bad to me as it is going up. You got to give that extra throttle, which means you got to be committed into going into that curve going up, because you know you're going for it, and hopefully you stay in your lane, because that's the biggest key, is staying in your lane. Pretty young ladies. You're safe, you know, walking or cycling on the bridge or road. You can see the flag up there. That's Chimney Rock right in front of us. I got his toe. Ooh, hairpin curve. Oh, look at that drop off right there. You don't want to get in that. But they need to fix that, I can tell you. They need to fix that part. You run off into that, you can get stuck right there for a minute and probably drop the bike. Another hairpin curve. And a bus coming. Woo. That makes it scary, don't it? On a one-lane highway, and a hairpin curve, and a bus, like an old school bus. Especially with cars coming, parking 1/2 mile ahead. So if you have to stop your bike in a curve, like right here, if you had to stop your bike to keep from crossing over, stop your bike. Don't run into somebody or let them run into you because you went over the center. Man, look at that. I can only look at that a second. Now what I did right there, that's a hairpin curve. What I did right there, I did not focus on the center of the road. I didn't focus on the cars coming. I focused only on that edge of the road. I want to get my wheels close to the edge of the road, and that's all I'm focusing on. And that's really one of the big tricks to riding in the mountains, is you won't swing out as much as you want to. Now see right here, this is another one. You see that? That right there is hairpin curve. They save a lot of money by making these hairpin curves. You know what I mean? This is all parking right here too. So there is a hairpin curve. You see how it goes right there? I wasn't sure if you could, this is all parking up here and what. But it is. And see, for people in a car, see, this is a 180 right here, see? You got a bunch of 180s right here. And, but this is part of the parking lot, but if you're on that one lane, you gotta be really careful. Because you could, if you cross over, you could get hit. So we're going to the one lane now. And so here's a 180 right here, see? 180s aren't that bad if you're in a car. You know, they're not bad if you're in a car. Two wheels, sometimes, see how that is? That's the road right there, 180 hairpin. It's going to be like, if you've never been here, I've never been here. So right here, look at that. That's a 180 curve right there. Now, Tell the Dragon has a lot of 180 curves, but there's a 2-lane. This is only 1.5 lane, I'd call it. You can get 2 cars between here, but I mean, you got to be really careful when you go around these curves. See, like right here, down here is the road. You go around this building, which is a pretty building, you're going to make a 180. Now when you make 180s, look at the wall, like in this case, look at the wall or look at the grass right here, and just try to keep your front wheel with the edge of the road. And try not to pay attention to cars or other things coming. I mean, you can glimpse at them and make sure they're in their lane, but okay guys, this is it. Deals Gap, motorcycle resort, sport touring, accessories, motel, and campground. Time is 2:10 p.m. Got a Corvette here. You can see Lambos, Lamborghinis, and Vipers, and everything else. Please don't run over me. Nice bikes. And see, this is a pretty sharp curve right here, because you got to go around and then you got to go up. And keep your eye on the white line on your right. Forget about what's on your left. Keep your eye on your white line on a curve like that. You see that curve right there? See how sharp that is? Now when you ride Tell the Dragon, you don't have to kill yourself and do like a lot of people do that race Tell the Dragon real fast. So you drive at your own speed where you feel safe. Forget about everybody behind you. Don't worry about them. Raining. The problem with it raining is that the oil is beginning to lift up off the ground, and I wouldn't take those curves like they're taking them, because when you take the curves at that kind of speed, then you have a chance of losing traction. And like coming around this curve here, you got to learn to change gears while you're in a curve. But yeah, see, this is a pretty sharp curve right here. I'm focused on the white line. Now the guy on the cross right, he's got good tires. I got brand new tires on my Goldwing. And I know he's got good tires on that bike. But see, you come up on a vehicle like that, you have no margin for error. So you drive at your own speed where you feel safe. Forget about everybody behind you. Don't worry about them. And you hear somebody run off the road, looks like. And that's another thing, you can't look to see what happened. That's called rubbernecking. And when you look to see what's happening, you'll run off the road, because you see how these curves are, right? Normally I drive this a lot faster, but I'm afraid to do that, like I say, with the oil coming off the road here, because they got a lot of traffic that comes up through here. Now, I don't know if you can see my windshield, but I've got Rain-X, the one that's made for plastic. Rain-X made for plastic, not regular Rain-X. And the rain is beating off my windshield pretty good, but I got to be going at least 30 miles per hour for that to happen. Because the wind would just push it off, right?